Hello and welcome back to the Way to Native Chronicles. During the Second World War, the most advanced military cryptographers in the world failed to break a spoken code. Not because it was protected by machines, but because it was spoken in an indigenous language, a language so precise, so complex, so unfamiliar that it defeated an entire enemy intelligence system. Most people know that language as Navajo. What fewer people realize is this. Closely related versions of that same language were and still are spoken right here in Canada. When people hear the word Navajo, most think of the American Southwest, desert landscapes, red rock, Arizona. But what many people don't realize is this. The Navajo language is closely related to the Dene languages spoken in Canada, including the Dene Tha and Beaver, also known as Dene Tha. And that connection tells a much bigger story. Navajo, Dene, Beaver, Slavey, Chippewan, these languages all belong to the same large family, the Athabaskan language family. That means long before borders, passports, or even the idea of Canada or the United States, there were people speaking related languages across an enormous stretch of North America, from Alaska through northern Alberta all the way to the American Southwest. Linguists and oral histories agree on something remarkable. The ancestors of the Navajo and Apache peoples migrated southward from the north from lands once occupied by northern Dene-speaking peoples. So when we hear Navajo today, we're not hearing something foreign to Dene Tha. We're hearing a cousin language. Different, yes. Separated by time and distance, absolutely. But built on the same deep grammatical foundations. During the Second World War, the United States military recruited Navajo men as code talkers. Their job was simple and nearly impossible. Transmit military messages over radio in real time, using their own language without encryption machines. And it worked. The Japanese military never broke the code, not once. Why did Navajo work so well? Well, it was unwritten at the time. There were no dictionaries, textbooks, or standardized grammar guides. Second, it was tonal and highly inflected. Small changes in pronunciation could completely alter meaning. Third, it relied heavily on verbs, not nouns. In Navajo and in Dene languages, verbs don't just describe action. They encode direction, duration, shape, intention, and relationship. One word can carry what would take an entire English sentence. So the obvious question is, could the same thing have been done with Dene Tha? From a linguistic standpoint, the answer is yes. Dene Tha shares many of the same characteristics, highly complex verb structures, meaning built through prefixes and suffixes, sounds unfamiliar to non-speakers, context embedded directly into the language. So for someone who doesn't speak it fluently, Dene Tha isn't just hard to understand, it's impossible to guess. The reason Dene Tha wasn't used has nothing to do with suitability and everything to do with geography, military organization, and the political realities of the time. Canada simply never organized a comparable program, but the potential was absolutely there. There's another reason Dene languages are so powerful and so difficult to replace. They are land-based languages. They don't just name objects, they describe relationships, where something is, how it moves, how it changes, what it's connected to. Many Dene words don't translate cleanly into English, not because they're vague, but because English lacks the structure to carry that much meaning in a single word. For a long time, indigenous languages were considered simple, but nothing could be further from the truth. These languages carried navigation systems, survival knowledge, kinship law, and land management, and as history proved, military-grade secure communication. They weren't primitive, they were precise. As we begin this series on learning the Dene language, it's important to understand something from the start. This isn't just about vocabulary, it's about a way of thinking, a way of seeing the land, a way of understanding relationships between people, animals, and place. And once you start hearing Dene spoken, you may begin to notice something else. the land itself starts to make more sense. If you've enjoyed watching this video and found it thought-provoking and informative, I encourage you to support this channel if you can. It's very simple to do. Just click like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and add your comments to the comment section. These various ways are means of showing YouTube that this video should be distributed to a larger audience, so that it all helps in the endeavor to get this information out there. And in addition, this, as I have mentioned in a previous video, is the beginning of a series on teaching the Dene language. So my wife, being a native Dene speaker, would really like to share that with people. I know there's quite a demand for that nowadays, and there's not really that many resources. So having something available online in a video form like this, where we have things marked in chapters and such, where you can go back and forth on the video and kind of rehearse a certain portion or a certain sentence or expression in Dene, I think that can be a useful tool in helping you learn the language, especially for many indigenous people who are from the Dene and Chippewan and Beaver tribes, that they don't always have their own language, and things are sort of slipping away. You know, it's a lot due to the fact that their parents didn't speak Dene very much in the household, even though they knew it. So we'd like to help to reverse that trend and keep the language alive. So if that's something you can get behind, I appreciate that. We also have the super thanks button that you can use to support this endeavor. In addition to that, there's the Buy Me a Coffee link. Those are all included in the description of this video, so just check that out. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and that's it for now. So we're gonna catch you next time, okay? See ya. Did you like this video? If you did, I think you're gonna like this one right over here. So check it out. And I appreciate your subscribing if you haven't done so already. Remember to do that while you're watching this next video. Click like, it all helps us out for this channel. Catch you next time.